Good morning, everybody. Okay, we're going to try to get through this one really quick. Last night was up until about 2:30 in the morning, sort of printing out and categorizing all of these Shut Up Jason questions because I realized that I have this huge, gigantic, mega backlog, and I'm either going to have to hire another assistant or I'm going to just have to bite it and spend like an entire weekend answering questions. Now, here's the deal. If I don't answer your question on video, it's not that it wasn't good enough or it wasn't that I didn't care or something like that. It's just that I mean, I get like 10 a day, and I am a little overwhelmed by that, if not a little scared, but that people actually want my questionable advice. But the second thing, of course, is that sometimes like it'll be like a really huge long question and the answer is a really short one, and so I'll just answer you back, and then I'm going to try to categorize and stuff. Anyway, I get stuff like this a lot, which oh, and actually the first one is the guy starts it out saying I'm from Texas, but I really don't mind it that much, and for some reason every email I get from Texas starts out with, but I really don't mind it that much. Unless the person's from Austin, in which they go, it's an oasis, you should come visit. And I'm always just like, I'm not allowed in Texas after that little misunderstanding in the men's room at the Dallas airport with the 3GI. Anyway, hey, they said that you should support the troops. They should have said not on your dick. They asked, I told. What do you want? I've been single for a while, and it's mostly because I'm a nerd. Fair enough. Pretty much an understatement. I'm a major nerd. I enjoy staying home and playing games rather than going to a bar or a club. It's not that I don't get out or stay active. I actually go out and do non-game things with friends and do a fair job of keeping the pounds off. Okay, fair enough. I just don't like to go any place where a lot of people gather and mingle because it makes me feel socially awkward. That I understand. The next part is that I would rather be in relationships with somebody like me who would rather not go out and just stay home and play video games with me, or other games. I have dated guys like that to go out and feel like a party pooper because it's totally not my scene. Again, fair enough. I've just felt a little crazy lately because I've been very frustrated with no one to release with. And by release, I assume he means, like shag. Not just physically, though, but emotionally. I think I'm noticing this a lot more because all my friends and family that I grew up with are now in relationships and marrying and have kids and still feel like I've made limited progress in my life. Ooh, that's one I can relate to as well. Do you have any suggestions to help me find the guy that never leaves the house? I know you said to insert yourself into things you like to do and eventually he will appear, but it's hard to find someone who's a homebody nerd like me, and dating anyone who doesn't understand that instead of spending my time at clubs would rather spend my time in front of a computer. Please help me out. The odd nerd out. Okay, so first of all, here's the deal. There is more to gay life than going to disco dance clubs, tea parties, gay resorts, and fashion shows, okay? There's a whole lot of stuff. You say that you actually do get out there and you like going active. You just don't necessarily like big, huge places where a whole lot of people, like gather and mingle because you feel socially awkward. And I spent a good deal of my life being scared to go to clubs and stuff where there's a whole lot of people because I, too, felt very socially awkward. And occasionally still do. And just so we're clear on this, that's just everybody. Okay, that's just it. Even the most popular guy in the place is occasionally worried that he looks like a twat. Oh, by the way, twat rhymes with cat. And it's a different word altogether than twat, even though they're spelled the same. So use twat in a sentence today. And we'll come up with our own specific definition of it later. But anyway, you say that you do like to kind of get out and you do, sort of stay active and all that. And you live in Texas, which from what I understand is a rather huge state with a whole lot of wide open space. So maybe it's not such a bad idea for you to see if there's like maybe a gay group that, you know, does some kind of, you know, out there nature kind of stuff. Where you're not necessarily going to, you know, cocktail parties and standing around by the pool wearing the latest fashions, because that can make anybody feel socially awkward, including the guys that you're looking at going, geez, I wish I was as comfortable as him. You know, because clearly you can't just meet somebody while you're sitting around in your house, but you don't necessarily have to go and find somebody whose entire life revolves around going out. Believe me, you're not the only guy that does kind of like to be a bit of a homebody. You know, that's one thing that I notice is that my little brother spends an awful lot of time, you know, playing games, and he and I actually have started playing Worlds of Warcraft, where we're like running around killing people, because we live kind of far away and we don't, you know, get to socialize much. So we do that like live online. And it seems like every boyfriend that he's ever had, that's like their favorite thing to do together is play video games together. So the guys are out there, you do just have to kind of put yourself out in some way or form. There's also, correct me if I'm wrong, entire online communities for game players, and it can't be too difficult to maybe go onto one of those, create a profile where you're very open about being gay, and see if there's any other guys in I mean, Houston's a big city. There's got to be other, you know, gay nerds out there who you know, really like playing games. Oh, and you know what? Nerd isn't necessarily a bad word, and it used to be considered to be a bad word, and I don't really think it is, because I'm a very proud computer dweeb. I mean, like, I'm an Apple geek. Like, I really am. I've got, I mean, there are 3 Apple, like 5 Apple things. My Apple TV is like right there, and then I've got my AirPort over there, and I've got my computer here. You're presently on my iPhone, and I got my iPad here, and there's an Apple logo tattooed somewhere, very private on my body. I'm making that last part up, but I probably will. It'll probably happen. And I also get this whole thing about looking around and comparing yourself to everybody else, where you look around and you go, well, wait a minute, he's got a family, and he's got a this, and he's got a that, which of course is just fueling into that socially awkward thing that you mentioned before. And I want you to know that, again, that's just everybody. Believe me, those same guys that you see with the wives and the kids and the house with the white picket fence and all that, a lot of them spend a lot of their time looking at everybody else and, you know, comparing themselves to other people, and that whole grass is greener thing. I mean, that's just everyone. Believe me, that's just everyone. That being said, you do have to kind of bite it and sort of put yourself out there, because clearly just sitting there by yourself, you know, hasn't really led you where you want to go. So get out, get yourself around the type of people that you want to meet, and that honestly can include, you know, just some other gay gamers, because there's tons of them. All right, there's a lot of gay gamers out there. There's a lot of gay nerds out there. You know, one of my online friends that I've never met in real life, but we chat a lot, is Paul Charles, the gay comic geek. And he, you know, he's got an entire network of you know, gay nerdy friends, and he can probably even point you in the direction of some other gay gamers, possibly even in your area. And there you go. Oh, but you know what? One kind of cool thing will be, is that once you get that gay gamer boyfriend and all of that, you'll probably lose a little bit of that social awkwardness and be just fine going out. So be prepared for that too. And everyone, keep asking me questions. And again, if I haven't gotten back to you, just go ahead and send those questions like a second time, because I got this huge backlog and I feel bad that I haven't answered everybody. And cheers.